It was bleeding, it was just broken, oozing. The itching was unbearable. It was horrible. Hey folks, so whenever you increase vitality in the body, you're going to get some form of detoxification symptom occurring. And this can be anything from a healing crisis just to feeling a bit tired. And you can get detoxification symptoms from anything you do that increases vitality in the body. So, vitality is the amount of energy you have left over when the body's survival mechanisms are taken care of. So, if you have a cold, your vitality level is higher because it means your body has leftover energy from your daily tasks to be pushing out some toxins. Depending on where you're at in the process, something as simple as increasing the amount of water you drink or just having a couple of green juices per week can increase your vitality level enough that you will experience some form of detoxification symptoms. When I first started out on what I now refer to as the healing program, I didn't know it was called that at the time, but this is just a way of healing myself that I kind of came up with based on all the research that I'd been doing. I kind of just launched myself into it. I kind of went just gung ho straight into this healing program. And I went through what I now understand to be a healing crisis. I went through a week where I was completely just sick as a dog. I was in bed. It felt like I had a full on bout of flu or a cold or something. But I now know that it was my body that had finally got enough vitality from the things that I had introduced to my lifestyle that it was able to just push a whole load of toxin out all in one go. And that was the worst week I ever had of eczema, of just feeling ill. Looking back now, though, I really don't mind having spent that week in bed because I understand what my body was doing. It was detoxifying a whole load of stuff all in one go. And I had educated myself enough prior to doing that I knew to expect it and I knew to be prepared for maybe a week where I would feel like the program wasn't working. But it's really important to educate yourself in this because it makes you stick with it through the times that are maybe a bit more counterintuitive. In the weeks prior to starting the healing program, I had been using some steroid creams. And as you probably are aware of, steroid cream is some of the most toxic stuff that can ever come in contact with your skin. And so the withdrawal symptoms, which by the way is another name for detoxification symptoms, the symptoms I was experiencing on the come down off of using those steroid creams were pretty severe. And as any of you will know, if you're going through topical steroid withdrawal, TSW, if you search for that here on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet, you'll find a whole lot of people going through TSW. And this is a detoxification symptom from the body pushing out the toxic load that steroid cream introduces to the skin. As soon as I stopped using the cream, my skin broke out completely. It was bleeding, it was just broken, oozing. The itching was unbearable. It was horrible. And the only reason I stuck with it is because I had educated myself in detoxification in TSW. I knew what to expect. And I'm a pretty all-in sort of a person. I don't do things by halves. And so I was happy to go through short-term misery, knowing that the healing process would be quicker in the long term. One of the things that I read whilst I was doing all my research was that for every 7 years of abuse to the body, you'd have to go through 1 year of healing to reverse all the abusive stuff that you'd done. And that was pretty scary to me at the time because I was about 21 and I figured that that's 3 times 7 years. So I'd have to go through 3 years of healing in order to reverse all the abuse that I'd done. And that was pretty daunting to know that I'd still have to wait another 3 years before I'd have skin that was acceptable. But with everything that I'd learned and with the intensive procedures that I'd put in place in my life, like with all the juicing and the plant-based lifestyle and just getting to bed early nights, the rest, the recuperation, the enemas, the garlic, everything that I promote, um, it turned out to be only about a year before I was pretty happy with my skin and I could walk down the street without everybody staring at me, which was just such a relief after I just saw the staring and just the really depressive experiences that you go through as an eczema sufferer. And now, 3, 4, even 5 years on since I started researching into all this stuff, my skin is completely clear. I never get breakouts now. And in fact, people actually compliment me now on my skin being good, even people that didn't know that I had eczema in the past, which is bizarre coming from a place of pretty mediocre to poor skin. So, the type of symptoms that you can expect will vary depending on how intensively you introduce the detoxification program. So, if you're doing the juicing and the garlic and you're fully plant based, low fat, and everything else, then you could end up with a full on healing crisis like I had. But if you're just introducing these things one at a time, or you're slowly transitioning to plant based, etc., then it will control your symptoms more and they'll be more manageable. And you'll probably be able to carry on working, looking after the family, doing everything that you want to be doing.